Okay, so welcome all, welcome everybody. This is our first Gateway workshop that we'll be hosting for the semester. And this one is about time management. And this presentation, I wanted it to make it a little bit different because I've been to several time management workshops where we're given, tips on how to maximize your time. But I believe time management goes above and beyond just school. Time management is something that we should all try to do, not just for school, but for our lives, so we can be better people in general, not just better students. It goes way above just homework and projects. It goes about being who we want to be, so we can have the time to do it. So, moving forward, we have an agenda of what this presentation is going to be about, and the first slide is understanding time and what it means. The second one is, why it's important to manage our time. And then we'll have a small breakout room activity so we can get a little social and talk to each other. And then after that, we'll be discussing the impact of remote learning on our time management. I will also be giving you guys some tips for time management that have helped me. And after that, we'll be understanding our own nature and how that can help us with time management. And after that, we'll have another breakout room activity where we can be a little social. And after that, we'll have a conclusion and a small Q&A if you guys have any questions at all for any of the Gateway mentors. So we're going to put time into perspective. And let me actually do this so you guys can see the pictures. Cool. So it is important to understand that time, just like us, is always changing. We cannot control time or its flow. So therefore, we must negotiate with time and its flow in order to truly optimize our days. And so one of the things that I kind of realized about time and about us is that time is infinite. Time is going to keep going regardless if we're here or not. There's always a past, there's always a present, and there's always a future. We just happen to live in the present at all times. But the thing that is interesting is that for us, time is finite. So although time is a concept that's infinite, when we apply it to us, it's limited. And so maybe if we can understand that, we can understand how we can maximize our days a little bit better. And one of the ways in which we can do that is maybe looking at time in a different perspective. Although a lot of us may see time as a 24 hours in a day, when was the last time you kind of thought about it being 1,400 minutes in a day or 86,400 seconds in a day? I would challenge you guys, if you guys could, just as a fun experiment, to maybe look at time in sets of minutes for one day instead of hours. See how much that can change when you're perhaps looking at your watch and you realize you're 14,000 minutes into the day and you still have homework to do. It's a little challenging thing you can do, and maybe you can see how time can be different if you perhaps see it in a different way. So we'll move forward with that. And why is time management is important? Well, it can reduce your stress. A lot of us perhaps procrastinate. I do. And when the deadlines are coming up, we get stressed because we have to finish it. And it sucks, because I believe we just see deadlines as a guide, not as the be all end all. Also, when we manage our time, we can be more productive. If we can, space out our tasks day by day instead of doing them all just one day, we can be more productive and have better days and also a better week. And it gives us time to do the things that we want to do, like being better brothers or siblings or guardians, whatever it be. We can be more productive. It could also increase our work output. And this is important, and it also correlates with the work quality. So I believe there's a strong correlation between having your time managed well and a strong correlation of having your work output and it being quality work. When we obviously rush something, we may get lucky. There's a few times throughout the semester we may get lucky and, write a paper at the end, the final due date, and, maybe we get an 100 out of it. But more times than not, that's not the case. And as you get into higher division courses, you'll realize that these papers that you may have to write, they're going to take effort and time. And the thing that's going to help you is your time management. You can go into a professor's office hours and get more feedback when you have something completed. And, you can increase your work output and quality as well. And at the end, we have more control over our lives and the things that we want to do. We're students above all, but that's not our only label that we should assign to ourselves. These are just maybe 4 to 5 years of college, but that shouldn't define us. We still want to do the things we want to do. And, a lot of us, perhaps we center college around our lives, and college revolves around our lives instead of our lives revolving around college. And so that's what you can do if you manage your time pretty well. You can have a little bit more control of your life and do the things, and, increase your work output and also be a better person. So moving forward, I wanted to have a small breakout room activity. And a question I propose to all you all is, taking into account the time you're sleeping, how much time available do you have at your disposal every day? And how are you using your time? This is no competition to see who's the busiest or who gets the most work done. Just maybe we can talk about how much time of daylight we have. How much time do we actually have from the moment we wake up, till the sun goes down? So I'll put you guys into small breakout rooms. I believe it's like so. Let me do that. Can someone actually help me with that? DJ, can you help me with that?
You don't have the breakout room option there?
I don't think I have it on me.
No. I'm gonna make you host.
Okay.
Let me know if you can see it. Nothing.
I cannot, DJ.
Oh no. Let's just do it in here since it's a small group.
Oh, I see it now.
Okay, perfect.
We'll just have two.
Yeah.
So I'll do one of these. And is that everybody? Oh, okay, sweet. So I'll get them going right now, and we'll come back like in 5 minutes. How do I join one of these?
And I'm awake. 24 minus 8.
I only joined one of the other groups. I didn't join the other one, but we were discussing that some of us stay up a little late, like the past hours of like 1 or 2. And I just wanted to ask for the rest of you, during that time, are you guys, if you do stay up that late, is that just for leisure, or are you busy during that time? How do you manage your late hours of the day? If anybody could answer that from the other group.
Are you talking about our group?
Yes.
Okay. So I don't know if I can share. Well, I'll just share what I said. Basically, I said that I try to take time for myself throughout the day. By that I mean like even just cooking for myself, or I didn't share, but I also journal. So like just journaling and like getting your thoughts across, and as well as exercising. I told Rose, or I told my group that every once in a while I have this like spontaneous walk as well. So like I really enjoy it because it turns out to be like a really good walk. Especially, I mean, I don't know about now because it's so windy outside in Merced, but yeah, it turns out to be pretty good.
Right on. Anybody else want to share what they do with their time throughout the day, or how it functions? Any like scholars, preferably. Right on. So we'll keep going. So one of the things that has been interesting recently with time management is the remote learning. And after having a semester of online learning, we should look back at how we reacted to it, especially with the time we had. And now, for me, and perhaps I'm speaking for a few, we had a lot of time at our disposal. Perhaps the most time we've ever had since the pandemic started. Um, I felt like I had a brief period of time where I had no responsibilities other than just to provide for myself and take care of myself. Um, and especially with the ongoing breaks that were happening, it seemed like time, I had an abundance of it. Unfortunately, though, I now realize that not everybody had that same opportunity. Some struggled with the time they had available. And by that, some may have taken new responsibilities, being at home. Perhaps you are now a guardian to your siblings, you are the IT person for your siblings. Some of us may have juggled multiple roles throughout the day, and that took the time away that perhaps the pandemic gave. So it's a huge impact on how we what we did throughout that time. And depending on how much time we had available is relevant. But what matters more is how we use that time. And so, did you invest in yourself throughout this time? Did you mentally prepare yourself for a new semester? One of the things I like doing, and perhaps it's a little cheesy, every semester I like getting a new set of pens. I don't like using, I'll use the same old pens, but I like getting myself a nice pack of like 2 or 3 pens, really nice ones. And I just look forward to opening those pens. I don't know, it's just me, but something new to start always gets me, with a better sense of a new beginning every semester. And like I previously mentioned, some of us had to take new responsibilities. And if you are taking new responsibilities, are you managing them well? Just because you're assigned a new responsibility doesn't necessarily mean that you always have to take them. Sometimes it's okay for us to speak out and say, listen, I just don't feel like I can do this. I need help. And that's okay. These new responsibilities are taking time from us. And time is super important to us, especially with the amount of things we have going on, and especially being students. So these are some questions I would like for you all to think about, and maybe you guys can understand if how you're preparing for the semester. Did you invest in a new hobby? And have you taken your responsibilities since the pandemic started? And how is that impacting your remote learning experience? And so moving on, um, tips for time management, excuse me. So, oh, my bad. One of the biggest tips that I have thought about that I feel like is not spoken much about is the respect to time. And so if we don't understand and respect time, then trying to have time management skills is like learning how to dance without music. Um, and for me, that's something that I've been thinking about lately is that how can I manage my time when I have no concept of time now? That's one of the things that I've been noticing since the pandemic started is that I for a while I didn't even know what day it was. I only knew what day it was because of certain class. Other than that, I could care less what day it was. And although it was interesting for a while to have that kind of mentality, it started being a little toxic throughout my days because I simply wouldn't do anything because I didn't know what day it was. I had no respect for the days that were ahead of me and the days that were before me. So how can I as a person even manage my time where I don't even have an understanding of time itself? And that's where the simile to learning how to dance without music goes. You can obviously dance without music, but it's difficult. You need to have rhythm, and music has rhythm, so they both correlate with each other. And one of the things is I believe that quality anything has a correlation to time. If we want to have, if we want to be good at anything and want to have quality material being produced, we have to invest the time to do so. Rushing things is not a lifestyle that a lot of us want to have. And it's not one that is good for your mental health either, always being on the rush. So we can slow down. That is what time management does for you. It makes us slow down and it makes us understand a few more things. So that is for me the biggest tip I can give to you all is just to get a better sense of time itself. And then maybe once you have the understanding of how time works and the world around you, then time management will be something that you can just, perhaps do easier. And so other tips that I've thought about that are kind of unique, I believe, is setting up your time to the 24-hour setup. I know a lot of people that are in the medical field, that are in the military, that do so because of their careers. But if you ever try doing that, it might work for you. I've been told that when they see that it's 23 hours into the day, they kind of have this mental thought that once it hits 24, the day restarts and it's back to 1 o'clock. And that's something they do, so maybe you can do that. Another thing is use deadlines as your advantage. Obviously, a deadline's not when we should start doing things. It should be when our quality work is done and polished. Like I said, space out your time so you have something that maybe could get revised before you turn it in. Another thing is dedicating specific timeframes to do work and be consistent. This, alongside with ending your days on a high note, I believe are some of the ones that I've used the most. And this applies not just for school, but also for hobbies. Recently, I've been playing guitar, and I've noticed that if I stick to a certain time of day every day and play, and at the end I end with a high note, I look forward to playing again the next day. Whereas before, I wouldn't want to play because I messed up on a certain part. And this also goes for essays, for example. If we write something and we're not happy with it, it sucks coming back the next day trying to get into the groove again. What I suggest you guys do is space out your time between something and end it with a high note. End it with you wanting to come back the next day, kind of eager to learn about something new to write about. Or perhaps you do really well in a few math problems and you kind of get the gist of it. Maybe you should come back tomorrow so you can finish it. And that way you end it on a high note and not just always end things because you're frustrated or confused. It makes it so much difficult for you to come back the next day and start over again. Another thing is be generous to yourself. It's okay not to always be productive. I feel like we have this misconception around us, and perhaps other people are doing so to us, that you always have to be productive. You always have to be looking for opportunities. You always have to be searching for the next best thing. And I don't believe in that. I think it's okay to do nothing some days. There's absolutely nothing wrong with not doing nothing once in a while. Treat yourself. And as DJ said earlier, exercise, go on a walk, do yoga, meditate. And you don't have to go hard on it. You don't have to compete with anybody or even yourself. As long as you kind of get some steps in, and as long as you get some sunlight in your skin, it just feels better. Coming back, you get a clear head, and perhaps you may have think of something that can help you for whatever you're doing. And these are some of the tips that I can give to you guys. And these are some of the tips that have also helped me throughout this time. And I cannot stress enough the dedicating time frames and ending your days on high notes. Those are the ones that for me have helped me the most, as I look forward to every day around 6 to 7 to get back to playing guitar. Or perhaps there's another time frame where I had to complete an essay and I can't wait for the next day to read something else to learn about and write about. And one other thing that I wanted to address, which I believe is important in time management, is understanding our own nature. And so when we understand our own nature, we understand the importance of our existence. Therefore, time becomes the most valuable asset. Remember, time is finite to the human. And time management is beyond school, guys. And it's not just about school and homework. We must manage our time to understand who we are. We have to invest in ourselves. And one of the things I suggest to you all, and especially how everything is going, is to spend time alone. Treat yourself as if you were to go on a date with someone that you really like. If you were to look at yourself that way, then how much more value would you give yourself? And at the end, it is only when we truly come to understanding with our egos that we can become of service to the ones that we love. Manage your time to become a better friend, sibling, guardian, lover, and student. Like I said, it's not just about you guys getting your homework done on time and turning in a essay before the deadline. That's just the core of it. I mean, that's just like the one layer of an onion to it. Once we can get those things out of the way, then we can now start getting into the real meat and potatoes of it. we should have time set for our friends, call our friends, let them know that we're there for them, especially during this time. Establish better bonds with your siblings, spend time with them, play games with them, or maybe you're a guardian now to them. Understand who they are. Maybe you're in a relationship and you should try working on your communication. Try that instead. Or at the end, as always, become a better student. There's one thing that I've thought about that, that we can apply to this, and that's brushing your teeth. I don't think any of us wake up and have a dilemma of, oh man, when am I going to brush my teeth? When am I going to make time for it? We just do it. There's no certain problem with it. We just wake up, for the most part, I hope, and brush our teeth or whatever it is. But it's something that we do automatically, and it's not something that we allocate special time for. It's just something that we do. So perhaps we can get to a point where being a better friend, a sibling, a guardian, a lover, a student is similar to that of toothbrushing, where we just do it. We don't put certain time to it. We just do it because it's something that we know we have to do. And so moving forward with that, I wanted to have another breakout room activity. I put you guys in maybe same groups or maybe different. I'll spice it up. And one of the things I want to ask is that time management is more than getting assignments done on time. What other ways can you manage your time to help you in your everyday life? I kind of butchered it at the end. But what other ways can time management help you? Is there something that you've been trying to do? Is there an activity that you've been trying to invest in, but you just don't have the time in it? What is something that you keep saying, I don't have time for it? And maybe then you can kind of understand that you do. It's just the way that you've been handling things hasn't been efficient enough. So I'll put ourselves in breakout rooms one more time, if you guys don't mind. I'll do the same ones because they're already assigned. And so if you guys can talk about this for 5 minutes, and then at the end we'll come back and share, that'll be sweet. So I'll see you guys then.
I would like to share.
I can go,
or okay.
You can go.
I was gonna say I would like to share one of our peers' tips that I learned. So basically, I was just telling them that I would really rely on Google Calendar to tell me about how my week would be. But since it's so limited and there's like stuff that changes, like how Leo says, like things don't always go as planned. I ended up getting a 2021 planner for this year, and I wrote down to plan ahead, basically using Sundays or the weekends to plan for the upcoming week and getting everything ready. And so that's what I'm gonna start doing, looking at what is to come up in this and checking the syllabus and everything, and just checking my work schedule as well as setting time aside for myself, like cooking, exercising, and just making sure that I get the time that I deserve. But yeah.
I'll share one more little tip that I kind of forgot to mention on this. Obviously, you guys can all use planners. I use one as well. But I do leave margin for errors in it. It's kind of impossible to really manage your time. I would like to say it's better to negotiate with time so you can do the things you want to do. But I always say leave, a margin of error for whatever happens, because some things you can't control. And like I was once told, you can't worry about the things you can't control. And, it's obviously easier said than done. But, sometimes you just got to embrace the chaos for what it is, man. You got to roll with the punches. Sometimes time isn't as nice to us as it should be. But, when we have control of it and when we can grab it by the hand, we got to do what we got to do and get things that we got to get done. So if anybody else has any other tips, suggestions, go ahead, because next slide is a little Q&A and our goodbye. Ooh, we got a chat. What's up, chat?
Would you mind if I said my tip real quick?
Go for it, Felipe, of course.
All right, sounds good. So I think I know going on the planners and the whole time management discussion is I use this thing called the Passion Planner, and it was created by this UCLA undergraduate student who's now graduated. But it's more of a planner to help you set goals and achieve your goals. And I like it because like it allows room for error and like constant consideration that like I guess this whole discussion of, and theme of like time and being kind to time. Um, I don't know. I always like recommend it to people that like ask me questions in regards to like planning and staying on track and like helping yourself stay motivated. I think it's a good resource. I'll write it in chat right now. This is not a sponsor or ad. I think I really stand by the product, so I think it's cool.
Should sponsor us.
I don't know.
For reals. One thing I just wanted to hop on what Felipe said about the Passion Planner. I guess just a personal reason why I love the Passion Planner as well is because like you can also like jot down like your thoughts and like other tips that you want to do aside from just like what school is. Like you can also add, I think you might have said this, but personal goals. But something that I love doing is like I jot down like how I'm feeling about the day or like how and then I can look back and see like my progression, whether that be in school goals and personal goals, emotional goals, all that stuff. So yeah, definitely do recommend the Passion Planner. This like Felipe said, I wish we got that sponsor. But they are a little pricey, but it is worth the investment, definitely.
Right on.
They also have, my bad to keep going on this, but they also have free available PDFs if you don't want to buy it and you just want to like use the PDF and print them out. They also offer that.
Does anybody have any last tips and tricks? Going once, going twice. Yeah, we got a chat. Thanks, chat. Cool. All right, sweet. So, I'll tell you guys one more thing before we kind of dip potato chip. You guys can come to us as your mentors for more than just homework or whatever it is. Just like you guys, we've been through this UC Merced thing, and just like you guys, we're going through the remote learning thing as well. The thing is, we just have a little bit more time with it than you all. And I think now, in my 4th year, I can say I kind of know how to do this college thing now. And it's taken me a while to truly come to conclusion with that. So if you guys need any help at all with anything, really, we're here for you guys. So, book those meetings with us and let us know. We'd like to get to know you guys more, especially this semester. And that way, when we have to come back, there'll be something there for you guys waiting. And that's something that I want to stress out to you guys. Make sure that when you guys eventually do enter UC Merced, you guys have something there waiting for you with open arms and there to welcome you. That's my thing. And as always, the last thing I wanted to say is, again, we can understand and respect time. Then trying to time management skills is like learning how to dance without music. So if you guys have any questions, please let us know. And we're here to answer anything, really.
Yeah, we're gonna stay here for a couple minutes up until 5, and for the rest of you, if you don't have any questions, you can go. But yeah, thank you.
Thank you all for coming. We really appreciate it. I really appreciate it. I'm the one who made the slides. Yeah, chat. Thanks, chat. Thanks, chat. Nice. Just waiting on that donation from chat. You guys are all welcome.
You just hear the cha-ching.
Cha-ching, cha-ching. Thank you, Mireya, for the 5. If you guys donate, we can answer your question.
I was gonna say you drop the Venmo and everything.
You have priority.
So I have some questions about Wi-Fi. My family's planning to switch Wi-Fi providers or internet providers, and due to COVID, the installation and cancel period between our current company's Wi-Fi and our new company's Wi-Fi, there might be like 1 to 2 weeks of us without Wi-Fi. And I'm like, I saw somewhere on Discord from like the like study groups and stuff, like someone got a Wi-Fi box from UC Merced, but I wasn't sure on the process.
Yeah, so if you want to search up on your browser, you can just search up UC Merced